What is going on YouTube? Alright, Dave coming at you with another video. This video is going to be a little different than my usual videos. This is actually going to be like a very small kind of documentary, but it's about somebody that I feel needs some recognition because he obviously really doesn't. Everybody knows Jackie Robinson. Everybody. How can you not know who he is? Obviously the first African-American player to play in the major leagues, Brooklyn Dodgers, 47, Branch Rickey. Everybody knows his story. It seems like with every year his legend grows and grows. His numbers retired throughout Major League Baseball. On Jackie Robinson Day every year, everybody wears the number 42. Speaking of 42, the movie that came out a couple years back, which is a great movie, obviously, and there's continually documentaries. Everybody knows his story, and they should. You know, one of the greatest, you know, I mean, forget about it. I mean, you almost don't even have words to describe, you know, what he did for baseball and what he did for civil rights before there was really a civil rights movement. Aside from all that, there's another man that is not very well known, is not very well recognized, and you're probably never going to see a movie or a documentary about him, and that is Lawrence Eugene Doby, otherly known as Larry Doby. Now, I'm going to venture to guess that if 100 people watch this video, 75% of them won't know who Larry Doby is. And I'm talking about it. I know hardcore baseball fans who've never heard of this man. So I almost consider it, you know, my duty as somebody who loves the history of this game. I'd like to shed some light on who this man was. Larry Doby was the first black player to play in the American leagues. Okay, Jackie Robinson came into the game April 15th, 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Larry Doby came in July 5th, 1947 to the Cleveland Indians. So we're talking about less than 3 months after Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby became the second black player to play in the major leagues. Now, one of the reasons most people probably haven't heard of him is because, unlike Robinson, who, you know, was a huge story, you know, well, you know, should be a huge story, but Larry Doby was the second player. And as Larry Doby said, nobody wanted to write the same story twice. You know, all the racism, all the taunts, and everything that Robinson went through, this man went through it as well, except without the fame, the endorsements, and just the legendary status that Robinson had. This man went through just about everything that Robinson went through, as far as the negative aspects of, you know, what happened to these early black players into the major leagues. And he didn't get any of the recognition, any of the credit, any of the endorsements, any of the anything for the most part that he deserved. Now let me give you I'm just going to give you a quick little history on Doby. Larry Doby came up with the Cleveland Indians. Bill Veeck, after he saw what Branch Rickey had done, he wanted to jump on that train real quick, and he took in Larry Doby. And like I said, this was in 1947. They won the World Series the following year in 1948, which Larry Doby was a big help, along with Satchel Paige, who came onto the Indians in 1948. Larry Doby played from, I believe, 47 to 1959. He played with the Cleveland Indians, played with the White Sox, and briefly with Detroit. I believe he was named to 7 All-Star teams, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1998. You know, he didn't have the numbers Robinson had, but he was a great home run hitter, good average hitter, and like I said, great player, Hall of Fame 1998. Now, he was not only the second black player to play in the major leagues, but he was also the second black manager to manage in the major leagues, which people might not know. Obviously, most people know that Frank Robinson in 1975 became the first black manager to manage in the major leagues. Larry Doby was a close contender for that job, but Frank Robinson took it, and in 1978, Larry Doby became the second black manager in the major leagues managing the Chicago White Sox. It always seemed like he was one step behind making history, which is really sad, you know, if you really think about it, because like I said, this man went through, you know, a lot. He went out there, played his heart out, and he really deserves a bigger place in history, I firmly believe, and that's really why I'm making this video. You know, if one person who watches this looks him up and realizes who he is, and you know, I feel like it did my part. The book I have in front of me is actually a very good book. Nice biography on him. So, you know, if you're interested, you know, pick that up. Or you could just Google him and just, you know, read up on him a little bit. You know, he deserves to be recognized because he's really not. Nobody talks about him. You know, most of these documentaries you see about, you know, the early black baseball players in the major leagues, you know, they'll talk about Jackie, they'll talk about Satchel Paige, they'll talk about, you know, like Monty Irvin, Willie Mays, and you know, Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, and stuff like that. But he's very, very rarely mentioned. So I just wanted to take a little time to kind of shed some light on a man who I feel didn't get really any recognition for everything he went through. Like I said, first black player in the American League, second player in the major leagues. So that's pretty much it for me. Like I said, I hope you know, you guys enjoyed this video. I hope, you know, you picked a little something up from this, and I hope I did my small part to give this man some recognition. So you guys have a good night.